Welcome back to Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda, giving you all the latest updates on anything and all things Ravens. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's dive into the latest Ravens news I have for you today. So, injury update. Travis Jones returned to practice. Thank God. Thank God we have someone from the nose tackle position in our interior defensive line back for practice. But there's more bad news. Ronnie Stanley did not return to practice. He is out with a knee injury or his ankle injuries, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens in the next couple of days. See if his game status is going to be questionable or if it's going to, if he's doubtful or out. I'm hoping that he, comes back and is able to play. So we'll see about that. Kyle Van Noy is still out with the hamstring. Madubuike, obviously, with the neck injury, most likely out for the season, but I guess we'll get more on that after the Chiefs game. And Broderick Washington is out with an ankle injury. So not good in terms of our interior defensive line, but Travis Jones did come back. Hopefully Broderick Washington comes back at some point on a limited basis and then he's able to play. That means that Washington and Jones and Peebles are probably going to take the majority of the snap on the interior defensive line. And it's not, the way it looked last week, it's better than nothing at this point. Peebles is having a eyebrow-raising start so far. So looking forward to, seeing more of that. And update on Patrick Ricard. He's been out since August. It's almost October. I really think that he should just be placed on the injured reserve list because if we aren't seeing him in practice and we're not seeing him at all, it's been over a month. Let's just go with that instead. At least then we would know, hey, he's on injury reserve. Whether a spot opens up on the active roster, and we could promote someone from the practice squad or sign someone, whatever. But it's pretty eyebrow raising that that hasn't been done. Maybe it's a good thing, or maybe it's just Harbaugh saying, being very nonchalant about injuries and being like, I can't comment on that this time. But I'm just saying it's very odd at this point that Ricard hasn't been placed on the IR list and we could promote someone to the active roster while he's out for the foreseeable future. But again, I don't know. Moving on to Kyle Hamilton passionately defended Zach Orr because the Ravens heard the fans. They heard the criticism against Orr. Kyle Hamilton had said the sky is not falling. He said we've been through the fire before. We're going through it again. It's just one of those things like that where he's defending his coach, and he has to. He's a player. He has to defend his coach. It's pretty common for a guy like that because Zach Orr has, proven to be very passionate about his team, about his defense. And you'd like to have a guy like that in your corner, But from us fans' perspective, this just doesn't look good. Kyle, come on. You probably know deep down there's something going on. You deep down, now you're like, what is going on here? Why are we so confused? Why do we have to, why are we making this harder than it needs to be? But I get it. Defending your coach, 100% understand, and it's natural. I'm hoping there are going to be some changes that happen where we see some yes, that's what we were supposed to see. That's what we want, versus more disappointment. He had also said, I feel like sometimes Ravens fans can be a little spoiled, just like the amount of success that this franchise has had. We lose 5 games and the world is about to end. I think on Zach, it's unfair to put all the blame on him. I get that. I understand. Some, players sometimes get confused on what position they're supposed to play on the field, but you guys as players, have got to understand who you're guarding, what route looks familiar, and start, figuring that out fast. I've said this all week. You got to figure it out fast. I get that he's, trying to put some of the blame on himself in some way. But again, this isn't good to start the season at a 1-2 record. Mind you, we were 0-2 before we won a game last season. Or And, you know, the games aren't going to get any easier if this is the case. And at some point, you just got to look to the coach and be like, you know, like, what do we do? You know, like, we're doing what you're telling us to do, and it's not working. So, I mean, yes, we have been spoiled. We had arguably the greatest defense of all time back in the early 2000s. We had, again, one of the greatest defenses of the decade under Mike McDonald. So I get it, we can act spoiled, but we have expectations for this team, and those expectations are not being met. It's like we were so hyped up for this season, and so far it's not going well. You get the fan, like, from a fan's perspective, like, this needs to be figured out fast, and it's not going to get any better if the blame, if we keep losing games and the blame, keeps shifting towards Orr, and at some point, something's got to happen, and I'm hoping it happens pretty soon. Moving on, so replacements for Madubuike. I'm just going to assume that Madubuike is not going to be playing in the Ravens uniform at any point in the 2025 year. I'm hoping maybe like he's comes back for playoffs maybe, but from the sounds of it, it looks season ending. Could be wrong. I could be taking this a whole different way, but let's just assume that it's season ending. Here are some replacements that we could see. I have a couple here. So let's start with, I've mentioned this man before, is Christian Wilkins. He is currently a free agent after being on the Las Vegas Raiders. And mind you, his career has been plagued with injuries, but he has accumulated 22.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 6 fumble recoveries, and an interception. Not bad. It's a body replace there, and we could probably get him for dirt cheap. Just a thought there. I mean, if the Ravens were gonna go this route, let's go. Like, we need bodies to fill. Like, if we'll put on Madubuike out for the season, we could sign someone up real quick, promote them to the active roster, and then they can take his place for the time being, unless he's able to come back at some point in this season. And again, like I said yesterday, Ravens have rejuvenated some veteran careers. Jadeveon Clowney's one, Kyle Van Noy is one, so it's not impossible for a player to be able to fill that hole entirely. I'm just saying. Also, another player that I think that the Ravens should definitely look for is Armon Watts. Currently on the Giants, also has some checkered past with injuries, but hear me out on this. A little bit younger than Wilkins. Has accumulated 8.5 sacks in his career, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 pass deflection. So again, another body to fill there. Just saying, like, pending Madubuike's status, this is a guy we could go for. Get him for dirt cheap. Because what do you guys think? Comment down below. I have one more as well. This Browns are probably not going to let him go to some guy in the AFC North, but here we go. Maurice Hurst. Mind you, been on the Browns practice squad, was promoted to the active roster, and is pretty productive. 10 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 3 fumble recoveries, 10 pass deflections, and 2 interceptions. Interesting. So another body to fill there, or we could sign 2 just as insurance, but I don't think the Ravens are going to do that. So comment down below what you guys think on signing any of these players. Personally, I would go for Wilkins because he has the veteran presence there. Again, all of these guys have had injury scares in the past, but at this point, we'll grab anyone. It's just we just got to get guys that are productive in the trenches. Moving on to the last part here. So game plan for the Chiefs. The Chiefs have been struggling. They've been struggling. Their one win is against the Giants, and I watched that game, and mind you, they pulled away after in the second half, but it did not look good. I'm just adding a layer of optimism here because Travis Kelce looks like he just doesn't want to be there. Like, he looks like he just doesn't want to play, and he's ready to go off into the sunset with Taylor Swift. I'm just being honest. And every time, Mahomes tries to throw to him, Kelce's either bobbling it or he doesn't throw to Kelce, and Kelce gets angry. So I'm just saying, like, the Chiefs are in the same boat as the Ravens right now, where they're just trying to find themselves a little bit here. But problem is, Xavier Worthy has been activated, and he will play on Sunday. So that's going to be tough to have a full Chiefs team against this kind of injured Ravens team. But we have beaten the Chiefs as an injured Ravens team. Everyone remembers the 2022 season. I remember that game, 35-36. Oh, Adafe always fumbled, got the fumble. Oh, that was amazing. I was at that game. Oh, I nearly cried during that game. I was like, we won? But main game plan here. Derrick Henry's got to be given the ball. I know that he's been struggling with his ball handling skills, but the Lions came to play, and in my opinion, they have better run defense than the Chiefs do. Just saying. And gotta get the run game going. Gotta really get it going. With the passing game, let's see. We'll have to really play chess in the passing game in order to get some touchdowns here. Mind you, I think the Ravens can win? Absolutely. But they've got to show that they can be better than they played the last few games. The Ravens have scored the most points in the NFL. They lead the NFL in scoring. But they're 1-2. This would be a great game to change that narrative. Against a team that has won the Super Bowl 3 out of the 5 times in the last 5 years. I'm sick and tired of it. So we'll have to wait and see on that. In terms of the offensive line, you're going up against Chris Jones. I'm sorry, I'm being blunt here. Chris Jones is going to have a field day with Daniel Falele. And Lamar Jackson's going to either be running for his life, or Tyler Linderbaum has to help Daniel Falele with Chris Jones. Because there's no way in heck that Chris Jones and Daniel Falele is going to be a contested contest. Chris Jones is going to have a field day. I'm just being blunt here. So, but on defense, you got to watch out for Worthy, you got to watch out for Kelce, and you got to watch out for Mahomes on the run. Because Mahomes is slippery. He can run too, and he can pass it to anyone, whatever, if he's vertical to the ground or jumping in the air, or heck, if he's doing a handstand, he could throw it. So it's going to be a tough game. I'm going to be blunt here. And it's in Arrowhead, but I do think the Ravens can pull this off. I'm really hoping they do, because we need something to, put us fans in doubt or put all the doubt of the fans to rest. All right. I'm wearing my Lamar Jackson jersey for that game, so let's go. Lamar Jackson, best quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion, better than Patrick Mahomes. Thank you for tuning in to Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda. Again, subscribe to the channel, like the video. I will catch you all later.